Welcome to Not Starving Artists, the podcast. I'm your host, Brooke Benson, money coach and equity actor. I am your financial cheerleader, here to help you build your financial confidence and have power over your money. The best part, no budgeting or bi-weekly paychecks required. I went from being a broke BFA grad having weekly panic attacks about money to a financially confident, wealth-building actor and business owner. Money gets to feel fun, simple, and sexy, and I am going to show you how. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of my podcast series, Inside One-on-One Coaching. Now, I've done one of these series before, and what you're about to hear is a real-life coaching call with me. Why I wanted to do this series again is because I think it's really important for you all to hear how money gets talked about behind closed doors. Now, just so you're aware, every single person who you are about to hear inside of this series has consented to being on the podcast. They came into the recording knowing exactly what these recordings would be used for. So with these coaching calls, there's a few reasons why I want you to hear them. One is because I think it's important to hear that we all have so many of the same money narratives that we're trying to work through, financial struggles that we're trying to work through, right? You're not special, but in the best way, right? In the most liberating way. That's one of the reasons I want you to hear these. The second thing is I want you to hear how much we can accomplish, whether it be mindset or tactical, can be accomplished in just 30 minutes. Each of these coaching calls was a 30-minute coaching call. And most of these people I had never worked with before. So I want you to hear how much we get through in just 30 minutes. And I want you to hear that as just 30 minutes of intentional focused time on your money can yield so much results. Okay. There's this huge misconception that getting your money shit together is going to take hours and hours and hours and so much time and energy and all of this stuff. And like, sure, maybe some methods, maybe some financial advice that is out there. Yes, that would be the case. Not here at Not Starving Artists, baby. We got too much art and too much change in the world to do to let money take up too much of our life. So I'm so excited for you to hear these coaching sessions. If you yourself are interested in one-on-one coaching with me, you can find all of the details at the link in the show notes. You can also find it at notstarvingartist.com under the tab One-on-One Money Mentorship. Now let's get into it.
Hey.
Megan, hi. It's so great to see you.
You too. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
That's so great. Okay, so you're at the Atlantic right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
How's it going?
It's really fun. We're just about to go into our last semester, which is mostly just shows and stuff. So it's fun.
That's fantastic. Are you in a show right now?
No, I just finished a Shakespeare show, and then have a little bit of time off.
Okay, amazing. So let's dive right in. What do you want coaching on today? I read your form, but I want to hear from you like right now. Where do you want to focus the call today?
I think just figuring out how I can like streamline my process or make things work for me better. I feel like I have some tools in place, but I feel like there are areas where I could be helping myself out more.
Yeah. What areas feel like they're not working, or what's feeling sticky or like a money leak?
I think one thing is like, so I have different savings accounts for different things that are really helpful, but it's still really hard for me to like spend that money even when I know what it's for, or like seeing that number go down and then trying to rebuild it again has been difficult.
Sure. Okay, so let's talk about that. Seeing the number go down and then trying to rebuild it again. When was the last time you did that or had to do that?
When I was paying for my last semester of tuition, I had set myself up to be in a place where like I could pay in full for the last semester and still have savings. And sorry, my cat's next to me.
I love when the cats make an appearance. It's actually my favorite part of being on coaching calls. So
yeah, but just like seeing that number drop from being like, great, I have an in-between gigs fund that's ready to go, to being like, it's basically non-existent again, was a lot.
Yeah. Then the building back up part, do you feel like you are still in the process of trying to build it back up? I'm just using your words here.
Yeah.
Or did you build it back up at some point? Tell me then, what was the afterwards?
No, still working on building it back up. I think just figuring out how to, because it took a while to get to that place the first time. So now building it back up is like a much slower process of like, okay, how can I find extra bits of money to go towards building this back up to be where I want it to be?
Sure. Okay. So why I'm asking like specifically about this is because when it comes to a larger thought around, I don't want to pull money from my savings, let's go to like a microcosm, like a teeny little example to really piece it apart to figure out where it's coming from. So that's why I'm asking specifically. So talk to me about paying in full for tuition. You planned for that, correct?
Yes.
So then what happened between when you planned for it and then when it actually got spent?
Part of it was just that like the way they were doing tuition costs, the amount changed from in the beginning when I was like, okay, it's going to be this set amount of money. And then tuition increased over time and some of the discounts that were given were decreased. So by the time I was actually paying, the amount was a couple $1,000s more than I had originally planned for it to be. So it made a bigger dent than I was anticipating.
Sure. Gotcha. Okay. So it was more about it wasn't what you expected versus spending what you did expect.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So that's something to clock, right? And flag that is part of where the stress came from. Talk to me about the building it up. Tell me why it feels like it takes so long to build up this amount previously and now.
Yeah. I think this is probably like the first time that I'm really doing it like from my own savings, because the last time that I was building up savings was during the pandemic, and I had the benefit of like unemployment checks coming in. And so that was able to be like, okay, this is a lot of money that I can save because I can be really reducing my costs right now. But now, like working and living full-time in New York and trying to be like, okay, just off of my paycheck, how can I be taking extra money to build back up these savings? It's harder for me to find that. Like, it feels like there's less extra income that I can be putting towards these things. So I think it's just stressing me out, seeing that number build very slowly, as opposed to being like, great, in a couple months it can be done.
Sure. So part of this is coming from, I think there's a sneaky expectation in the back of your brain, tell me if this resonates, that you're how many hours a week are you doing school shows? Like, what is this program requiring?
Yeah, it's a full-time like 40-hour-a-week program, and then I'm working full-time on top of it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So there's this sneaky part of your brain that thinks that even though I'm working 40 hours a week doing this grad program that I'm paying money to be a part of, I'm also just going to be able to make just as much money as I did before. And I'm like actually going to be able to save at the rate I want to. Like, you're forgetting what you said yes to.
Yeah.
Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like, what's coming up for you as we say that out loud?
I think just the fear that like, oh, I should be able to do this, and like because I'm not able to save like I used to be, then I won't be prepared if something happens, or if the next big purchase or like emergency type thing happens.
Sure. So let's go backwards for a minute. Why did you choose to go to this program? Go to grad school and then choose this program?
I felt like leaving college, there was definitely a skill set where I was like, okay, I feel like I have maybe 75% of the puzzle figured out. And I was hoping that like, okay, going out and working, I'll get the rest of that. And then being in classes and working, I was realizing that there was still a piece that I was missing, that I wasn't getting through that. So I knew really specifically what I wanted to get out of a program. Just like the really moment to moment based, like being present with someone else was not something that I had had in training. And then this was a program where like when I was auditioning and did the callback, I was like, oh, I saw a really immediate difference with the monologue that I was using in the callback. And it was amazing. And like, I'm so glad I'm going here. I've learned so much and it absolutely has filled that void for me. And I view my career as more of like a long haul than a sprint. So it's like, I'm happy to take the time out to really invest in it so that even if it's not paying off right now, 5, 10, 15 years down the line, it will be.
Yes. So filling that 25% void, yes, like that was the immediate ROI. Why do you want to fill that? Why did you want to fill that 20% void, right? To be this 100% fully formed actor, right? Like we'll just use that.
Right.
Right. When you're your fully formed actor, like, what does that result in? When you think about like, I'm in this for the long haul, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, like what then is it giving you, or where do you see yourself ending up because of this program?
I see myself just being able to work hopefully consistently. Like my goal is not to be like quote unquote famous. I actually think that would be very bad for me. My goal is just to work consistently sort of across medium. I've been able to work in like voiceover and on camera and all the different stuff. And I just really love telling stories. And so my goal is just to have as much training as possible so that I can be a good candidate for as many different things that are coming out as possible.
Sure. So let's now tie specifically your financial investment in this program to the financial payoff down the road. Tell me what that looks like.
I think the goal is that by being in this program, taking the time off, spending the money, I will be able to take higher paying jobs. Right now, or before I was still doing a lot of unpaid or very, very low paid work. And the goal is like, great, let's be going out for more union gigs. Let's get more minimums and actually make some return back from all of the energy and money that I've been putting in.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's get specific with numbers because I think part of what we're doing right now is I think you're forgetting why you said yes to this, right? So forgetting why you said yes to this, specifically financially why you said yes to this, is having you be in this pressure rush place of like, yeah, but I need money in my bank account now. You're forgetting I call it slingshot energy, which is where you pull yourself backwards like a slingshot, right? To shoot yourself forward. You're forgetting that you chose to pull back, right? You're like, why am I not in the forward? Why am I not already soaring through the sky? It's because you needed the momentum or you chose to have that momentum. Okay. So this is what we're doing. We're reminding you why you did that. So financially, tell me how much your tuition total for the whole entire program, your investment, what was that number or what is that number?
So the full program, I think, came out to 42,000. I was very lucky to still have a 529 from college because I was on a full ride through undergrad. So
Shout out to Honors College.
Let's go. My investment ended up just being that 6,000 that I paid for the last semester.
Cool. Okay. So $6,000 is really what we're talking about here.
Right.
Okay. Talk to me when you talk about these gigs that you want to book, right? Like not doing the shitty non-union theater. Let me rephrase that. Not the low-paying non-union theater, right?
Yes.
What are the gigs weekly pay? What's your minimum right now in your brain that you'd want to be paid?
I'd say minimum probably looking at like $500.
Great. So like absolute minimum $500 a week, right? For a gig. So if we're talking a $6,000 investment, and if because of this program, you book 2 union gigs that are $500 a week gigs, let's say these shows are, let's do 10 weeks long, right? 10 weeks long. So 10 times 500, that's $5,000. You book 2 of those, you've now already made your investment back and then some. What comes up as we do that math?
I feel like there's a hesitance to believe the numbers, even though they are right there.
Yeah, tell me why.
I think just the fear that like, okay, but that implies that I will book the gigs and the fear that I won't. And I think being scared to base money numbers on what might happen versus what I know like is true right now.
Okay. So it's about removing that might from your vocabulary, from the possibility of what's going to happen in the future. Tell me, for let's even say the next 20 years of your life, how likely is it that you would not book a single theater job that pays $500 a week over the course of the next 20 years?
Probably very unlikely.
Yeah, like I would say literally impossible. Right? So like if we're actually playing it out, I think you've squooshed your timeline into the immediate now.
Yeah.
Right? Of like, if I don't see those two contracts already on the table for 2025 that are paying $500 a week, and I don't see the savings account already boosted to what I want it to be immediately right now, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
What scares you about, or what is the hesitancy to thinking that and believing that? What are you afraid is going to happen if you believe that?
That I will start making plans or assumptions based on things that haven't happened yet. And so it'll be like, great, this money will come in. And then I'll start making choices based on that thing. And then if it doesn't happen, that I'll be left in sort of the financial lurch and not have that protective net.
Yeah. Have you done that before? Has that happened in your life before?
I haven't had to make a ton of like big purchases in my life or put myself in that place. I've always been like, just try to keep that little savings bubble. And so even just spending little bits feels stressful.
Sure. There's a couple of things going on in my head. I want to decide which way I want to take us next. Walk me through a specific fear or timeline of like, okay, let's say you believe that these two contracts are going to come. What are you afraid is going to happen like within the next year? What actions would you take from that belief that would end up hurting you?
I don't know.
Yeah, like let's insert actual circumstances. This is what our brains love to do. They're like, SOS, fear. And you're like, okay, well, let me actually let me create a fire drill for the fear. And they're like,
right.
It's like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean name the actual fear? It's an amorphous cloud. That's what we're afraid of. So let's walk through like what is an actual fear for you right now? Let's say like post grad, or what feels the most imminent?
Yeah. I think it's probably that I am in a like survival job that I don't really love working as a server, but that's paying my bills and doing a great job of doing that. And I think the fear is that I'm going to be stuck in that job or similar jobs in order to pay for life, and that I won't actually be able to make the switch to having art or like having my own business or something else, actually be able to pay for the bills.
Yeah, definitely. So, okay, so two things here. First thing is, well, great, let's get you another job then. What comes up when I say that?
Fear.
Yeah, why?
The last time I was unemployed for maybe like 48 hours when I was living in Chicago, I just had like a complete meltdown. Like just the fear of I don't know where the next paycheck is coming from was so scary for me.
So that's really interesting. Did you see what your brain just did? When I said, let's get you a new job, your brain went to unemployment.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think because all the times in the past where I've switched between jobs, there has been like a shift or a break of some sort in between the jobs. I think I'm just very used to being busy and always knowing what the next thing is. And so not knowing what the immediate next step is scary.
Sure. So with this, I want you to talk back to your brain and tell whatever part of you is like really scared or really stressed. It's usually like baby starving artist version of ourselves, right? Like
Yeah.
the senior in college who's like, fuck, 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 what am I gonna do? Like talking back to her and saying like, I know you're scared shitless. I'm going to promise you that we will not leave this restaurant job until we have a signed contract on paper, and we will work up until the day that that new job starts, or whatever it is, right? Or
Yeah.
like, until we're making X amount in our business, we are going to stay in this restaurant job because I know that means a lot to you to have that stability. Make those promises to her and talk back to her of why it's not going to result in a long period of unemployment or no paycheck coming in.
Yeah.
So now what comes up about like switching jobs while you are in this restaurant job?
Uh, I think just the idea of like starting over. Like I don't love the job, but I do like the fact that like I know what I'm doing and I know how to be good at my job every day. Versus like starting over, and then the fear of sort of the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, of like, okay, let's say I switch a job and then it turns out to just be the same thing or worse than where I was at.
With that fear, then what happens? Let's actually put you in a new job. Well, let's put you in a new job. It's worse, but you're making more money. What happens?
I don't know.
You have a choice on the table. Okay.
Right. To
When
like
it comes
stay or find a new job again.
Exactly. So it's about reminding yourself that you're going to have choice and autonomy anywhere as long as you remind yourself to give that to yourself.
Right.
So let's say you end up in a new job and it's paying more, but you hate it. Great. You have the option to go back to that restaurant job or a different restaurant and serve somewhere else. You also then have the option to be like, ooh, I really like this money now. Let me just find a different job that's similar, that's not with this specific person that's making it hell.
Yeah.
So it's about actually getting comfortable with the change, with the shifting, right?
Yeah.
Because that's also going to build evidence of how you will never get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because when you're comfortable with changing and reminding yourself that you can always make a different choice and then actually doing it, you will actually start to believe that you could never possibly get stuck in any kind of job or any kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's even go back here too. The restaurant job is paying your bills.
Yes.
And you're able to save a little bit right now, right? Like you're breaking even, but plus some. You have a little
Yeah.
surplus.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's the problem? It's okay if there is one. They're probably, I just like want to hear what do you want to shift? What do you want to change?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the problem is probably that I would like to leave this job, but because it is in a position where it's paying for everything and giving me that extra to save a little bit, I'm very reticent to let go of that, especially while I'm in a school type situation where there's going to be less flexibility on my end.
Sure. So why do you want to leave it?
It's just not great. The
Is it just
trying to think
restaurant
of how to
culture?
say
You
this
don't have to be specific.
diplomatically. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's just a really like physically taxing and brutal job. And then just the company culture sometimes just gets really frustrating.
For sure. Yes, and I also feel like this is very common amongst most restaurant jobs as well. So yes, that's the
Yeah.
culture. So with that, great, we know that. Okay, so at some point between now and full-time artist life, like where you are booking contract to contract to contract, right? Like you
Yeah.
don't need any other income, sure, right? There is going to be an in-between.
Yeah.
Right. So that in between is probably a scarier thought to actually tangibly work towards than the thing that feels a little bit farther away, but a little bit easier to visualize, which is the full-time artistry.
Right.
Or making all of your income as an artist. That being said, Megan, this is something I want you to start like plant this seed and start noodling on it, you have so many other passions and things that excite you, right? You're like a RPG person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So TTRPG, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So being a TTRPG person, right? You have other things you're excited about. You are going to want to have other projects, maybe even a parallel career, something else outside of your contract to contract work
Yeah.
that's going to bring you income, but also bring you joy, right?
Yeah.
So what's coming up as I say that?
Something that I've been really interested in looking at, like once I get out of school, is being a grant writer and being able to do something that's just like a little bit more freelance work or have the ability to work from home. I really like working with that sort of puzzle piece application process and doing like the academic writing piece of that. And so I'm trying to find people that are working in that arena to like give me tips or like how they got started or what they were doing for training. Yeah.
Amazing. So even with that, you can start getting into that field and getting paid for that while you're still working at the restaurant.
Yeah.
You literally can.
Yeah.
So like this is like to continue to take the fear of leaving that job, right? Because that seems to be tied to like core food, shelter, water. So
Yeah.
let's not shake that up right now. Let's just add more money and opportunities and things that you're pursuing on top of it. Right? Like,
Yeah.
why not start doing that and make more money and just have bonus money? And then it'll be an easy decision to let the restaurant job go when you do that. And
Yeah.
like insert anything else or substitute anything else in for grant writing, anything else that's exciting to you. Right. Let's start there.
Yeah. I think there's also just, the fear of like, oh, what if you can't make money doing the things you like to do? Or the fear that I'm always going to be just doing sort of unpaid labor. Do a
Yeah.
lot of unpaid labor.
Mm-hmm. So let's make that the reality before you start getting stressed about it. So a
Yeah.
lot of times we're running a fire drill in our head for something for a floor plan that doesn't even
10
exist.
steps down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what a cool problem to have where you go down the grant writing path and for whatever reason you specifically can't make money grant writing or like getting into that field or whatever. I don't think that's possible knowing you, but like let's just say that's the reality. Cool. You've now hit a wall and you know that you never have to spend any more time going down that path because you have a for sure answer that that's not a path. And
Yeah.
then you can go down the next path, right? Or
Yeah.
like let's say I was talking to someone else about it was like a D&D podcast or like an RPG podcast
Yeah.
and wanting to like make money off of that podcast. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
great, run down that path. And instead of being stressed in your head about like, what if this isn't going to make money? Go test the hypothesis, make it make money or see that it physically could not make money. And then you'll know. Now,
Yeah.
on 99% of the time, you're going to be able to make money or insert whatever result you want if you keep going.
Right.
What's coming up there?
I mean, like, I definitely want to believe it. I think there's the excitement. I feel like my brain is halfway there of being like, yeah, this is a real thing. And then there's the part of it that's like, I don't know. We'll see.
Sure. I'm going to give you a tactical piece of homework here.
Mm-hmm.
Make a list for each of these things. So let's say you're grant writing. What else is coming to mind? Give me another option of a path you want to pursue.
Yeah, I think working with D&D stuff, I'd done a very little bit where we made a little bit of money on the side sometimes.
That's incredible. Okay, so you've already made money doing something that you love. Can you tell me when you say we made a little bit of money, can you tell me how much money that is?
I think it was like $175
Okay,
for a
you
couple
made
gigs.
$175 doing something as fun as a TTRPG project.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've made money doing what you love.
Yeah.
So like, let's clock that as evidence. Let's not let your brain diminish that you literally already have evidence that it could be a money-making vehicle.
Right.
Doesn't have to be, but it could. Okay, so you've got grant writing and then you've got this project. I want you to create a list of 10 things that you could do this week, small actions to start running down that path. So when I say running down that path, it's like trying to make it a reality. And I want you to run as fast as you can down these paths until you hit a wall. I want you to slam into a wall if a wall exists. Because if a wall exists, you can either take 2 weeks hitting that wall, or you could take 3 years debating whether or not a wall exists.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it in 2 weeks.
Cool.
So that you can find the next path. So create an action list, 10 items per thing. And I want you to shoot for like at least 3 things a week, getting them done from that list.
Cool.
Just to see little things. What's coming up there?
I think excitement. I love a to-do list. I love like actionable steps. It just makes me feel more in control of what's happening.
Yeah. Especially with like things that feel as big as this, of like new job, passion project to money making vehicle, while I still love it. Like these are big things, right? So bringing them into the small action items.
Yeah.
Your other piece of homework. You are not living right now in the fucking awe of what you have created for yourself. Are you kidding me? Can we just let's just refresh all of the things we talked about in this call. Okay. Casually said, I was on a full ride for college. So I got my theater degree totally free. I had extra money in my 529. So I decided, smart money move, I'm going to invest in furthering my artistic craft at the Atlantic, where I am currently performing consistently and enhancing my craft. I had the money in the bank to pay for it. Did not have to put that on a credit card, had the money in the bank to pay for it. And you have a job that's paying your bills and then some, and you're saving. Are you kidding me, Megan?
Yeah.
What's coming up?
It's just like,
why is that uncomfortable?
Weird. I don't know. I think it just feels uncomfortable, or like it feels like bragging, or it feels, I don't know, like bad to stand on that.
It's not bragging if it's true. You had $6,000 in the bank to pay for your grad program at the Atlantic. That's not a brag. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That you got into that grad program. That's not a brag. That's a fact. Why I'm hammering this home, like I want you to take some intentional celebrations about everything you've created, because what happens when you forget to do that is you end up where you're at right now, which is for having amnesia about everything you accomplished.
Yeah. And
then being stressed that now you've moved the carrot. Now, oh, we're not saving fast enough. Oh, we're breaking even and surviving as an artist. That's not good enough. Your rate of saving isn't good enough.
Yeah.
So you need to take the time to like integrate, holy shit. I am actually living as a full-time artist. Because even though you're making income and your bills are being paid from something else, doesn't matter. You're working 40 hours a week as an artist. Are you kidding? Full-time artist. Holy shit, look at what I did.
Yeah.
If you can make that a daily practice for yourself, whether you journal, whether you talk to yourself out loud, right? One of my favorite things to do is I pull up my bank accounts and I talk to my scared little artist self, and I point to my bank accounts and I'm like, look at what you did. Look at that. You're an artist. Look at those numbers. It rocks, right? Like whatever you need to do that's going to make you feel that glittery feeling in your body of like, holy shit, do that daily.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you got some tactical stuff to get done this week, and you got some emotional stuff to do this week.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Any last things before we hop off, Megan?
No, this was so helpful. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad to hear that. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. And it was so lovely to talk to you today. I'm so glad I got to see you again.
You too.
All right. Have a great rest of your week, Megan.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in. Come join me on Instagram for more on how to build a simple, sexy relationship with your money. My Instagram handle is @NotStarvingArtists. And if you want to dive deeper with me, head to the show notes to learn more about one-on-one coaching. If you love this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend that you want to get rich with.